Have you ever stared into a mirror and wondered if anyone else truly exists? Not just doubted someone's intentions or questioned someone's loyalty, but considered the terrifying possibility that everyone around you might be an illusion. That the voices, the faces, even your closest friends and loved ones are nothing more than parts of a vast mental play, one where you're the only conscious actor? This unsettling hypothesis is known as solipsism, the philosophical idea that only one's own mind is sure to exist. Under solipsism, the external world, including people, events, and even history, could be nothing more than a product of your individual consciousness. Everything you experience, from sunlight warming your skin to the words you're reading now, might be part of a simulation generated by your own awareness. In short, you could be the only conscious being in the universe. While this concept may sound like a sci-fi plot twist, it's a serious topic in philosophy. Thinkers like Descartes, Berkeley, and Schopenhauer wrestled with solipsistic implications in different forms. Descartes famously declared cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am, suggesting that the very act of doubting reality proves the existence of the self. But beyond that, all bets are off. How can you prove the existence of another conscious mind? You can't feel their thoughts. You can't inhabit their experiences. You can only interpret their words and actions through your own subjective lens. Science, too, hasn't been able to disprove solipsism. Neuroscience can tell us a great deal about how the brain processes information, but it can't tell us where consciousness comes from or why we experience subjectivity at all. We assume other humans have inner lives because they behave like we do. But that assumption is, by nature, unprovable. They might be sophisticated automatons, passing the Turing test of your subconscious. Or worse, they might not exist at all. Solipsism also intersects intriguingly with modern concepts like simulation theory. If you were the sole conscious entity in a simulated universe, you wouldn't necessarily be aware of it. The world would appear consistent, and the other characters would act convincingly sentient. Every new bit of data, news reports, conversations, even global crises, could simply be narrative filler created for your benefit. If the simulation only needs to render what you perceive, then the far side of the planet or the cosmos might not even exist until you think about it. But here's the twist. Solipsism is not just a metaphysical mind trap. It has emotional weight. It asks, what does it mean to love, to empathize, to connect if the other person is only a figment of your own mind? Is it possible to be lonely in a world filled with projections? Or does meaning lie in the feelings themselves, regardless of their source? If a dream brings you joy, does it matter that it's not real? Some thinkers argue that solipsism is ultimately self-defeating. If you are the only mind in the universe, then the question becomes, why would your consciousness fabricate a world full of suffering, confusion, and uncertainty? Wouldn't a self-generated world be more utopian, or at least more predictable? But perhaps that's the point. Chaos gives texture to experience. Conflict makes stories interesting. Even in dreams, not everything goes our way, and we rarely notice the difference. There's also a compelling case to be made for intersubjectivity, the idea that consciousness emerges through interaction. If we define ourselves by the way we relate to others, then whether they exist or not becomes less important. What matters is the role they play in shaping who we are. Just like a great book or a powerful memory, they help construct your identity. In this way, solipsism can be both terrifying and liberating. It challenges the foundation of what we take for granted, but it also reinforces the value of presence. If everything is in your mind, then every experience becomes sacred. Every smile, every word, every sunset is a painting you created. Even the pain has meaning because you gave it meaning. Ultimately, no one can escape solipsism through logic alone. You'll never find a piece of evidence that conclusively proves another mind exists. And yet, you go on living as though they do. You love, you grieve, you celebrate, you hold hands. Whether or not it's real in an objective sense may not matter as much as you think. Perhaps that's the secret. Even if you are alone in the universe, the fact that you care makes it feel less lonely. Even if the world is imagined, you imagined something beautiful. And that is a kind of truth all its own.